Cinderella by Sheila Sweeney Higginson, illustrated by Donald Wu. The genre is a fairy tale, which is a make-believe story that has been told for many years. Our text focus this week is the illustrations in the story are drawings that show important details to help the reader understand more about the characters, the setting, or the plot. Once upon a time, there lived a girl named Cinderella. Cinderella was smart, kind, and beautiful. Her father loved her very much, and she loved him. Cinderella had a stepmother and two stepsisters too. They did not love Cinderella. They were jealous of her and were never kind. Cinderella had to do all of the chores. She mopped the floors and washed all of the dirty dishes. She dusted, scrubbed, and polished every single thing in the house. One day, Cinderella's family received an invitation to a ball. The prince was having a dance and inviting all of the young women in the kingdom. Cinderella ironed her stepsisters' dresses, she brushed their hair and fixed their bows, then she waved goodbye as they skipped off to the ball. Cinderella was not allowed to go. After everyone left the house, Cinderella sat alone by the fireplace and cried. Tears streamed down her beautiful face. "Oh, how I wish that I could go to the ball," Cinderella sobbed. "I wish that I had a beautiful dress to wear." Just then, a tiny woman with wings flew through the window. She had a wand in her hand. It was Cinderella's fairy godmother. "Why are you crying, my dear?" the fairy godmother asked Cinderella. "I want to go to the ball too," cried Cinderella. "Then you shall go," said the fairy godmother. Cinderella's fairy godmother waved her hand quickly in the air. Poof! A pumpkin transformed into a golden coach. 6 mice turned into a team of horses to pull the coach. Whoosh! Cinderella's old worn-out clothes were changed into a beautiful pink and silver gown and 2 glass slippers. "What are you waiting for?" the fairy godmother asked Cinderella. "You need to get to the ball. Just make sure you come home by midnight." The prince saw Cinderella as soon as she entered the ballroom. He could not believe his eyes. She was the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. The prince asked Cinderella to dance. The prince soon discovered that Cinderella was smart and kind, and he fell completely in love with her. Cinderella learned the prince was good and noble. Cinderella fell in love with him too. Soon enough, the clock began to strike midnight in the ballroom. Cinderella gasped and turned to race out of the castle. As she ran out, one of her glass slippers fell off her foot. Cinderella did not stop to get it. The prince rushed after Cinderella, but he couldn't catch her. He picked up the glass slipper and sighed. It belonged on the foot of the girl that he loved. He vowed to find Cinderella and marry her. The prince was true to his word. With the glass slipper in hand, he knocked on every door in the kingdom. He was looking for the girl whose foot would fit in the glass slipper. Every girl wished the slipper would fit, especially Cinderella's stepsisters. The stepsisters tugged and pulled on the slipper. They pushed with all of their might, but they could not fit their big feet into the slipper. Cinderella watched her stepsisters as she stood next to the fireplace. At last, she stepped out so the prince could see her. "May I try?" she asked shyly. The prince knelt down in front of Cinderella and held out the glass slipper. Cinderella placed her foot into the slipper and it fit her perfectly. However, the prince did not need to see that. He looked into Cinderella's eyes. He knew that she was his true love. The prince took Cinderella back to his castle and they were married the next day. Then Cinderella, who was always kind, invited her father, her stepmother, and her stepsisters to live with the prince and her in the castle. They all lived happily ever after. All right, I want you to pause on this page, please, and read through the text to text, text to self, and text to world. I want you to choose one of those 3 to connect with, and you may talk with your parent or sibling about them. Thank you.